Paul, you obviously review what happens in the last game. What's your thoughts after reviewing the last game?
Well, still massively disappointed with it. It's more the way we went about it. That's the big disappointment, and the surprise, I suppose, that it's not something that we've experienced so far this season. That's the biggest surprise to me, really. We've gone over it. I've spoken to the players. We've shown them the things today, and now we have to get back to the basics again. What I've said to them today, some of the things that we're missing require zero talent. And that's my message. Let's get back to doing the things that we've done really, really well, consistently well over the season. And if we do that, then hopefully the ability to come through. But I do think you have to start with the basics. You've got to be able to run, or you've got to be prepared to run. You've got to be prepared to compete. You've got to have a discipline about you. You've got to have a desire to want to go and do it right. And sadly, for far too long in that game against Mansfield, we didn't do it. And that, I'll say, that's not taking anything away from Mansfield, because I thought they were good on the night. We certainly helped them by being as bad as we were on that particular night.
We said the other night we sit this side of the microphone and we can easily just chuck why at you and the lads. Did the lads help you with the answer to that question today?
Yeah, they accept that they didn't do it properly. But they also are accepting that they have a desire to go and put it right, and that's all we can ask of them now. We ain't going to change it. The disappointing thing, I look back over these last three games. The Harrogate game was one of those anomalies where it didn't happen for us on the night, and we lost the game in a game that we probably all expected to win. If we had have won that game, the Mansfield one wouldn't have been such a big shock. But now people can say it's 3 games without a win, which it is. But that's on the back of some really good results. I don't think these 3 games without a win has anything to do with the fact that we've properly turned Barrow over. There's been no relaxation, there's been no job done, any rubbish like that. It's just been unfortunate that we're having this little blip at this moment, and what it has done, it's kept us in 3rd place. I don't know how, but we are still in 3rd. What it has meant is that whereas before this little run we had a nice little gap to the last playoff place, it's now condensed, it was now closed up, and what we have to do is make sure that we go again. Simple as that, starting this weekend.
And dealing with it mentally is part of it, accepting that there are twists and turns. Every club is going to have a twist and a turn along the way.
Well, I think that's what keeps you calmer, knowing that it's going to happen. There's going to be lots of things that will go on between now and the end of the season, and there's no guarantee that we're going to stay up in the top places. We didn't expect it at the start of the season. It wasn't our remit to go and finish in the top 3 or get automatic promotion or whatever. The remit was to keep improving the football club. We've certainly done that. What we don't want is last 15 games of the season it to be a real anticlimax and we finish with a whimper. We've got to give ourselves the best chance of achieving something, and the first one of these last 15 comes at home on Saturday.
It's the reaction. You've said it already. You want a reaction now, don't we?
I want a positive reaction. There's always going to be a reaction, but it has to be a good one. That's what I want from this. Is what I've said to them today. I want a positive reaction. I want to see it. I'm hearing all the right noises. I'm getting all of the right responses from everybody I've spoken to. I just want to see it. I want to see how we go about it on Saturday. Whoever is selected, and there will be changes on Saturday. Whoever's selected has to go out and show us that they're worthy of playing.
Those changes, is that part of the management technique? Is it just to keep things fresh, to keep people alert and on their toes?
Yeah, a little bit of everything really, just to keep everybody involved, to keep it right, and hopefully to pick a side that wins. That's what I want. It's about winning games of football. We've done a lot of hard work so far to get into this position, and we want to make sure we stay there and give ourselves a chance. So we know if we go and we win the game, barring Northampton getting an absolute avalanche of goals, then we're still going to be in that 3rd position. The big thing for me is we have to do our job properly. We haven't done it totally right over the last 3 games. I do believe that Wimbledon was a good point, but Harrogate and Mansfield we didn't do properly. So you can't complain if you lose a good position because of that. and if we can win on Saturday, it gets us back going again and ready to push on again.
And you mentioned the other night, you totally accept the frustration that fans are feeling when they're not watching what they want to watch, but it's togetherness as well, isn't it, going forward?
Yeah, people pay the money and they are entitled to have an opinion. We totally get that, and I've certainly had more abuse than comments that I got the other night. It's part and parcel of it. We just want everybody to stick together. I think that's been a really pleasing thing since I've come back in. Or one of the things that's pleased me most is how the fans have come on board with us as well. And I do believe there's a real affinity between the players and the supporters. And we've just got to keep going. You know, what we saw the other night, particularly for 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes, isn't what these players have shown all season. I'm quite sure everybody has an off day in whatever they do in their walk of life. We had an off night. We had an off 45 minutes. Certainly, the next bit was slightly better, but I'm not going to take the second half as a positive because it still wasn't up to what I want it to be. So we just have to keep driving each other on, and hopefully the fans will appreciate that and keep driving us on as well.
Colchester, the league position doesn't right now reflect it, but one of the form teams.
Well, their form shows where they are. They're the form team in the league, and obviously that's why the manager got manager of the month last week. It's going to be a tough game. The additions that they've brought in January have certainly improved them, and we know that we've got to be right. It's simple as that. We've got to be absolutely bang on. We've got to make sure that our whole attitude, physical output, technical ability has to be better than it was on Tuesday, and we just have to get back to doing what we've consistently done over the season against a good side.
They're on an amazing away run of form as well. I think they've won the last 5 in the league. I mean, that tells us there's things to be wary of.
Oh, there's lots to be wary of. They're good players and they work really hard. They compete, they win second balls. It's those basics that don't require ability. That's what I've just spoke about, and we've got to do all of those basics right as well, and then hope that our ability comes through.
We've got that ability, haven't we? That's the thing I suppose you're reminding the boys all the time.
Yeah, you don't get to third in the table after 31 games now by not having ability. We certainly have, and there's a togetherness about them, there's a spirit there, there's ability, there's been a work ethic. Everything that you talk about has been there over the season. Now we have to make sure it's there for 46 games, not just for 30, and that's the challenge for us all now, to make sure that all of our preparation's right going into Saturday, and the players are fresh enough and knowledgeable enough to go and get a result.
And it's that clinical, ruthless edge in the final third, isn't it? I mean, it was there, it was in abundance, and it's just dried up a little bit, but nothing to panic about.
Well, I hope there's nothing to panic about. No, I mean, I'm certainly not panicking. We've gone too long now without getting a goal, and I want it to change. And if we keep doing the right things, which we did at Wimbledon, we did the right things, we just didn't finish things. We didn't do the right things against Mansfield, simple as that. That said, we still had some opportunities where if we're a little bit better with our decision making or our sort of clinicalness, we would have got a goal. We didn't. So what I'm hoping is that those goals that are in us have been saved up, and we can't change these last 3 games. It's about what happens in these next 15.
Has Jack Ellis added to the numbers?
Yeah, Jack comes into it. I did say that on Tuesday. He's training and fully fit, so he gives us another option, and we'll make that decision between now and Saturday as to what we think's the right team and what changes are the right ones to make.
Again, you updated fully on the other injured lads. It's a case of just Toby Shawsover, just to confirm, he's definitely booked in for that operation.
As far as I know, I've not been told anything different. So yeah, the appointment is on Friday. He'll go and have that done. The rest of the lads are all just ticking over and doing the work that they need to do. But there's nobody else who will come into the reckoning for this weekend except for Jack.
And last one, Paul, on a contract situation. Am I right in thinking that Hunt has hit his target for next season's contract?
He has, yeah. There was an option in on if he played so many games, so he has done that now. And he's got an extension, so he'll be with us next year, which I'm delighted about. I think he's been excellent for us. He had a little bit of a niggle the other day, but my thinking was that game had gone. It was about pride, and I didn't want to flog him in that game because the most important game is Saturday now. simple as that. So that's the reason I took him out of it the other night. I expect him to be fully fit for Saturday, and hope that we're able to go and perform and get a result that everybody's smiling about.
And he showed us. I mean, I remember him coming in and saying, "I'm going to have to get fit." Within days, he was. Oh, hang on a minute, you're fit. He's one who just wants to be playing.
Yeah, no, of course he does, and I want him to be playing. You know, he's one of them who's at that stage of his career where we have to manage his training load, because he's here to play in games for us. And in the games that he has played, I accept there's been some mistakes, but we've all made mistakes. He has been a rock for us at the back. His experience has been really valuable, and I hope that it continues to be valuable for the last 15 games and also through next season as well.
Well, thank you.